In 2021, as we come to an end, let's bring back boundaries. A lot of y'all are getting comfortable crossing a line, asking tough questions like, what's my sexual orientation? What's my vaccination status? And do I believe in God? This week on Textually Active, we're talking about those tough conversations and how more need to be disqualified from the list. You shouldn't be talking to me about certain things. And we're getting into it right now on Textually Active. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Textually Active.
Textually Active.
This is your weekly dose of conversations about navigating the digital age while dealing with friendships, relationships, and all the ships in between. I'm Rez, and I got Meezy with me.
What do you do?
EA is on the boards.
Young nigga off a birthday. What do you do?
Yeah, and something else too, but it's cool.
What?
Honestly, I'm just saying. You said you were someplace. I ain't see your stories all weekend.
Y'all know. Well, I'll say it after the show, but
that's a conversation y'all need to take home with y'all.
Yeah, that sounds like something we gotta talk about offline.
I mean, listen, I'm right at your bridesmaids.
Okay,
They ain't low.
You can talk to them. They'll have something to say. She was drunk and passed out because you know how I get. Woo!
Oh, sorry, you told the story wrong. She was drunk. She cried a little bit.
That's accurate.
Then cross them out.
That's more accurate.
I've been trying to explain to you. Me and you may be best friends.
Oh, maybe.
Like,
huh?
I feel like we don't have the longevity as you and some of your other friends. But I know just as much as about you as the rest of them.
You just watch my Twitter.
And I speak to you once a week.
Okay.
I remember the things you say. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true. So me and Meezy were just looking at the calendar as we roll into September and paying attention to the news. And some of us may be up for our second shot, a booster.
I don't know how that
third.
works. I don't know how that works.
How would it work?
Because they're not explaining to you like correctly. Because if I got my first shot, let's say March, then you had to wait a couple weeks to get the second one.
Oh, yeah.
So if I got it at the end of the month and it roll over to a new month, I was fully vaccinated in that new month?
Right.
Or was I partially in the first month? So I don't really know how that works. They not really explaining to us, and they not really talking to us about it.
It's not really. And watching the news is like a fucking wormhole suction of depression. And it's like, dang, I gotta watch all this to get through to what the core message is.
Public service announcement.
PSA.
Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. A lot of the black people you try to reach with your rap lyrics and rap lines, i.e. the newscaster for 2 weeks ago that used this Biggie line, we don't watch that shit, so it didn't correlate for us. So you're talking to an audience who don't even know who the fuck Biggie is, and they just like, who is this guy that they just quoted?
In all actuality, they took it to social media to laugh at it. So.
And you just confused a whole bunch of white people.
You just confused a bunch of white people. We weren't watching, and we know the line, so you didn't do anything for us.
We only watch the SAS God. That's the only thing we do.
Yeah, I watched this ass guy on CNN. Don Lemon.
Oh, fuck that nigga.
That nigga be reading down on the news.
That nigga,
SAS God, bro.
He be reading down.
that's Tom from Boondocks.
It's actually quite entertaining.
It's very entertaining.
That's kind of wild.
That's really funny.
That was spicy.
I like Don Lemon. So,
Better than Van Jones.
Van Jones is a piece of work.
That nigga done disappeared since he got that bread.
Yeah.
That nigga don't give a fuck
He
about social
definitely
copy.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the money he got?
Oh
from
yeah, he
Bezos?
definitely did get 10 million. We ain't heard nothing from
100
him.
million.
100?
Yeah. He said Bezos gave up those pesos.
Whew.
Nigga done got ghost.
You think he gave up that asshole too for that? 100 mil for a little asshole?
Why are we here?
What you mean?
Why are we here?
Why else? Like, his mouth must be crazy. What that neck do for 100 million?
Allegedly.
Like, I'm just saying, like, why did he just give him 100 million like that? Nobody know. Okay,
It
y'all.
was a flex.
Do I gotta take the whole thing?
Yeah. You have to take the whole
the
thing.
whole 100 million or the whole.
You can't just do the tip.
Yo, what the? It's not what I signed up for.
I don't know.
So you get a chance to say you didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
100 million.
Yeah. It is a lot.
And I ain't got shit. Like, you ain't never had nothing.
It'll take you off the internet.
This really all you need? Like, this all you gotta do for 100 million?
A flashback of a white man topping you, that's all you get? Yeah. A little flashback. I'll dress it up for you.
You know, you spend a little bit on your recovery.
As long as you're allowed to use lube and maybe anal bead for 2 weeks leading up to it, you might be all right. I'll let you sleep on it. But I say all that to say, back to the role of the show, that got a little dark, is that... That's actually kind of nasty, too. Yeah. Things have been getting a little tense. Before, the tense conversations that you would have amongst your friends groups would be politics, religion, and maybe raising children. Like, those are some things that you just don't touch in your inner circles. But I feel like it's time to revisit the no conversations. And
we started the show.
Yeah, with a no conversation.
Figure this out.
Right. And it's like, what are things that we shouldn't be discussing, like, in public? Like, I feel like boundaries just have opened up so much ever since we started seeing areolas on the timeline. It's just like everybody feels like they have access to people and they can just ask them questions about their personal life that they typically wouldn't. Like, there are some things that we need to include in that. And I'm just going to jump out the window and say it. Stop asking Black women or women in general where their husband is. No, seriously. Like, seriously, stop asking women and men, Meezy, you can speak up for the men, where their significant other is.
Let's expand that point. It's not where your significant other is. It's specifically marriage.
Why you ain't got no husband?
Stop asking Black people, or stop asking people when you gonna get married. Is you gonna get married? Stop asking people what, like, when y'all gonna have, like, stop asking people these questions, because I didn't sign up to have this conversation with you. I don't care how close we are. I don't want to talk about this.
It's just traumatic because in those conversations, you never know what somebody is going through. Right. They could have just been through a breakup that you didn't know about because no face, no trace.
Today, my first day out the house.
And the first thing you asked me is where my husband is, as if they just selling them down at the Walmart. As if I could just roll up in the Walmart and say, yeah, let me get that one. Him right there. We getting married.
That'd be fine.
Right? And you just take it home. It's just like there are other pieces to that conversation. You just can't.
I told you the other week, that lady randomly asked me where my girlfriend was at. And then I said, yeah, she at home. And she asked me, well, how long y'all been together? And then at that point, I had already engaged in conversation. So I'm like, oh, no. And so I'm like, oh, we've been together. It'll be 3 years next week. And then she was like, oh, so when you gonna marry? I'm like, bro, how the fuck? Like, is this what life used to be like? You met somebody, said, hey, and then got married? Because that's not how this works now.
It's a lot more than just saying you want to marry somebody. It's so
hopefully, number one, it starts with, do you like them? Do you like them?
Do you like them? That's a real question.
It's a real question.
And how long, when shit get tough, how you handle that?
Do you like them? Do you like them enough to care that he's still texting bitches? Like, do you like them? Do you like him enough to still want to sleep in the same bed with him when he snore loud as fuck?
Shit, I tried to leave Eric on the couch the other day for that. He was out there calling him. He cussed me out when he got in that bed.
Because you left him on the couch?
Yeah.
Valid.
But there was a conversation earlier that day that led to that.
She was being petty, and I am on her ass.
Because he was like, you got to stop waking me up in the middle of the night when I'm snoring because you can't sleep. I said, oh, so what you saying is fuck my sleep because you messing up my sleep.
Time out. Oh, we're gonna bring this back.
Oh, we having all the tough conversations today.
All right, yeah. So the truth of the conversation was that I first said I stay up later, right? Because she complains that she can't go to sleep. when I go to sleep early and we try to go to sleep at the same time. Right. And then I was like, the last time I did that, you actually woke me up because I was snoring. Right. And you do it every single time. So that's why triggering, I'm talking about sometimes it's a nudge, sometimes it's worse. Sometimes it's a curse out, whatever. But that's the real story. Not what you said.
And so he told me to stop waking him up. So when he fell asleep on that couch, I didn't wake him up. I went to the bedroom. But I
feel like there's another part of the story that gets missed in there. And it's because as men, we don't like to nitpick, but Reg, you big chested, you snore like fuck. All big breasted women snore. Like that's just the thing. If you got a big chest, you snore.
You think so?
Yes.
I have waken myself up from a... Don't you hate when you be trying to fall asleep and you hear yourself starting to snore?
And that's how you realize, I was asleep.
Shit.
I was asleep.
But yeah, you do have to ask yourself. I think it doesn't take into consideration all of those things that go into finding a spouse or all of the things that you may have been through. And it got me thinking, what classifies something as a tough conversation? Because we don't like small talk. I know I don't like small talk. Small talk is so awkward for me. It's just after I say hi and bye, I don't want to keep this conversation going. Yeah. Sometimes I'll see people coming to get on the elevator and I'll just close it so that they don't have to sit in the elevator with me and talk to me.
God damn.
Yeah, because it is awkward. It's after...
WMEZ, she's done that to me.
Damn.
It's after, hey, how you doing? It's so where are you off to? Shit just get weird. And when I'm in those situations where it comes to a quick conversation, it's I just start saying weird shit. So where are you going?
I only asked you what you're doing this weekend.
I don't like that.
That's fucked up. But I don't like it. I don't like small talk. I don't like having conversations about opinionated things. I don't want to have I don't want you to try to convince me. I got into an argument at work the other day with a preacher.
Damn.
And I knew he was a preacher, so I jumped in my Bible bag for a little bit that I knew.
Not you trying to pull your Bible out for the preacher.
I did.
What, you trying to go Bible for Bible?
Yeah, just to let him know I went with the shit.
What happened?
So he was talking to me. So I have a personality that gives off, I like to choose violence. And he was like, hey man, you behave, and I'm like, no. And he was like, and then somebody was like, yeah, you choose violence every day. He was like, you can't be doing that. And I was like, listen, God gave David a rock and a fucking slingshot. He didn't choose violence. Violence came to him. And he had to do what he had to do. And I was telling him, look, sometimes I have to do what I had to do. It ain't always that I chose it. It came my way and I had to do it. And so I was trying to get in my bag, and he was like, I'm a preacher. I'm like, yeah, but I'm letting you know, this is how I see it. I didn't choose the violence chose me. And so I be trying to fuck with people while I do it, while they talk to me, because I wasn't here for that conversation the entire time anyway.
I think a lot of times when we go into those conversations, especially if you're having a tough conversation with somebody, something that's going to invoke feelings and passions and viewpoints and stuff like that, you have to have a foundation of some type of respect for that person before you get into those conversations.
And you got to know the environment.
Yeah.
Yes, Thanksgiving, we can have this. We see each other every month. We only see each other this one holiday, and so if this is going to happen, I don't feel bad about telling you to go to hell and leaving and not seeing you again until next Thanksgiving. I don't mean no harm towards it. That's just how I felt.
Have you ever done that before?
Yes.
You told somebody to go to hell at Thanksgiving?
I think my family might think I'm the bougie one because I'm never around, but it's not that. It's just I've learned about myself in the last couple of years because of the way I was employed and the way my life worked. I haven't had the opportunities to spend time with family as much. Therefore, I'm as distant from those people as I used to be. Mm-hmm. So it's when you have to have that kind of conversation, it's never an opportunity to have that kind of conversation. It's just you think I don't want to be around, or you think I don't come around. It's no, it's just this is where my life is. And so then I tell I'm not helping you tote your baby to the car. Where is the baby's father?
At Thanksgiving?
Yeah, like I'm just out here chilling like everybody else. I'm not tilted. No. Yeah. I don't want to tote it. You want to tote it. Why should I tote it for you? And it's your kid.
But isn't that your cousin?
No, not really.
Okay.
We have like a blended family, so not really.
Okay, so you straight up just said no, go to hell.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is a tricky one because that's where all of the tough conversation comes out. Like it don't come out, in passing. Nobody's, I don't know y'all family, but I know we not having big barbecues with all the family members all the time. But for some reason, family members have that level of comfort with you because you share the same bloodline to say certain things with you. Right. And it's not about that. It's like, I'm still a person at the end of the day. I'm an individual. I have my own thoughts. I go through things that you don't know that I go through. So it doesn't give you the right to intrude my personal information by just pushing your viewpoints on me. Yeah. And I think that's where it becomes a challenge when you're bringing up topics about like having babies, getting married. And now the new one, are you vaccinated? Are you not? And you said this before, you were like, why don't people feel comfortable saying that they had COVID?
Right.
And it's just like, is COVID becoming one of those tough conversations that people don't want to have?
I watch Jim Jones make a video and go, I had COVID, it had me out bad. Wear your mask, people. like, fam, just like you. Like he was like, I don't want to tell nobody to get vaccinated or not. Just protect yourself. And I'm like, bro, why are you like bouncing around the idea of saying that you had COVID? Like when you first had COVID, you didn't really want to tell nobody. Like when people have COVID, they don't ever say it until after they've got over it. Like, yeah, no, I had it.
Because so many people have died from COVID. And whether you believe that those people died from COVID or not, like what we're being told is that I'm not at the hospital to know like if these people are actually dying. From what I'm being told by medical professionals, that niggas is dying, right? So when I got COVID, I was like, shit, I might check. Like, I don't want people to know I was down bad in my last days. Like, I want to appear as if I'm all right. And I don't want all that sympathy from people like, oh, you about, like, imagine being about to die and niggas like, oh, you about to die. Like, that's going to make it worse. Let me just, that's how I felt about it. I wasn't like embarrassed about it. I was just like, I don't want to worry people.
I actually think the opposite.
I looked at it as like, it kind of felt like I had an STD. Like
two completely different viewpoints. No. For me, I said that I didn't want to worry people. He said he was embarrassed because he felt like he had an STD. Different viewpoints.
And I know it's not the same. Like we all know that,
pretty much the same.
But it's just
right
like you just treat it.
You do get shamed for having COVID.
You just treat it the same because the same way that I don't know, like you talk about somebody when they got pink eye because you know how they got pink eye.
No, we don't.
Most times. The thing about when they say if you get pink eye is because you probably got a
doo-doo on your fingers.
No, you had a little booty doo under your nails and you put your hands in your face.
Somebody fart on your face.
You're nasty.
Pillow. Fart on your pillow.
I think the other thing to it, when we got it though, it was at a time where quarantine was still going on. So we wasn't supposed to be outside. So back when people were catching COVID, like during that time earlier in the year before the vaccination came out, everybody was like, they had like this shame on you because it was assumed that you were outside going crazy. And that's how you got COVID. Remember how they was looking at Atlanta?
Okay.
Like, no, but other states were looking at Atlanta like, oh, they're down there having a great time.
And guess what was happening? Motherfuckers was like, I can't stay in this house no more. I'm going to Atlanta.
They fucking went to Atlanta.
I be trying to feel like, I think my process is having COVID and keeping COVID a secret is the problem.
Why?
Because in order to contract, like in order to remember who you was with and how you got it, you gotta let somebody know, hey, I got it.
Well, they probably let those people know, but they're not going out publicly and saying it.
Why not?
Like, you have to let the people you were close to know.
And I feel like maybe you should let people that fuck with you. Maybe they'll be like, maybe what Jim Jones' message isn't like I'm hiding my COVID. Is, hey, I really got it. This really could happen.
But the shame piece is the part that's, and I don't know what Jim Jones has been pushing since this virus has been out. But I feel like the other piece to it is that some people just didn't believe the shit was real. And they were loud about believing the shit wasn't real. And then you turn around and you catch COVID. How you going to come back from that? Like, and I've seen people double down. These motherfuckers said I got COVID. Bitch, you do. What are you talking about? And it's just like, you don't know how to backtrack what you said. So maybe that's another view. It's the view of being scared. It's the view of being shamed. And then it's the third one of just not wanting to be called a liar. Why are you laughing?
I saw last week the Zoe nigga, the dude that it's Friday.
Yeah, he was working, yeah.
He said he got COVID twice and then blamed it on his supporters for like seeing him out and like breathing on him and like he didn't take no responsibility for why he caught COVID. He was like, the first time I had it in March, I was down at Mardi Gras, people was running up on me, talking to me, hey, and spit was all on me. I was trying to compose myself. The second time, I'm like, bro, at some point, you guys have your responsibility.
But the thing that really like kind of pisses me off is that you don't know if that was the case. Like, you could have been in your bathroom,
right?
And something was just COVID, just chilling. You know what I'm saying? And you got
That's funny. It's just funny to me. I don't know. I just don't like I said, bro.
I never thought you would get vaccinated.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I probably.
You didn't even want to wear a fucking mask.
I don't want to wear a mask now.
I know, me either. I'm an anti-masker.
These niggas is making us.
I do not want to wear a mask.
I don't, and I probably wouldn't have got vaccinated had I not had a girlfriend that is important to me. Like, I would have just like, I don't go to a doctor. I don't have a doctor. I'm 30 without a main physician. Like, I don't go to a doctor. I rarely get sick. I'm dosed up with NyQuil when I get sick, and I'm shitty on the couch and not want to do shit, but I still go to work and do shit like that. I don't really get sick. I don't really injure myself enough that I need to go to doctor. I don't be caring about that. Maybe this is the problem. You know, it's a problem for us as black men. We don't go to the doctor. So I wasn't finna get vaccinated. Nigga, I don't know. I almost ripped my fucking thumb off one time. I don't think I got a tetanus shot for that. Like, I just don't believe in shit like that. But I've never come out and said to everybody that's getting vaccinated is sheep, or people who don't get vaccinated and shit. I don't give a fuck. Do what you want to. If you get COVID and you got COVID without being vaccinated, and then you think, hey, I probably should got vaccinated, then that's on you.
When you got vaccinated, I was like, damn, I'm the one. This whole time, I was like, damn, I thought it was going to be me.
I actually got vaccinated for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
I thought the mandate for like flying was gonna be like, you gotta like go to places. Yeah. You gotta show your vaccination card.
Yeah, they didn't do nothing with the vaccination card.
I thought that was what was gonna happen. So I was like, hey, for free, I can get one. Like, all right, let's do this. If I have to go to the airport, I was going on trips. I needed to.
I also got vaccinated for selfish reasons too. I saw that they were lifting the mask mandate in North Carolina, and I was like, damn, I gotta leave it up to these motherfuckers to make sure that I'm safe. And then I saw what they were doing. Like, I think we had went out as couples. Like, I let my antibodies rock for a little bit. So I was out with my antibodies, and I was like, I'm good, whatever. But just seeing how everybody was carrying themselves in these close spaces, especially in the South. Like, when we went to DC a couple of weeks ago, we went to trap karaoke. Great time. Had a lot of fun. You know, we love trap karaoke here. Shout out to Mouse. Yes. We went in there, and I guess because Eric was working, we were considered like production. So they were making people who were working in the space get a COVID test. And they made people wear a mask inside. I was like, damn, this how y'all living in the North? Fine. I said, y'all niggas ain't never take y'all mask off, huh? And they was like, no, we never did. I was like, oh, this is ghetto. 0 stars won't be coming back. But I say all that to say, in North Carolina, they didn't give a damn. Like, there were, to this day, right, restaurants are saying, you didn't have to wear a mask. Thanks. Like, and that was it. It was like, you just don't have to wear a mask. It was never, you don't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated. Just don't wear a mask.
It was more so you are allowed to take your mask down to eat and drink.
Yeah, which is normal. But the other day, I was calling a restaurant for my job to like make a reservation. And I was like, do y'all require a mask? And they're like, no. Like, what do you mean no? So nobody just has to wear a mask at all?
That's where it went. But, you know.
It's just what. But
shout
there was
out Alan Jones, because now we got to wear the mask in the city of Winston-Salem.
There was never the follow-up piece, though. And that's my thing. Right. So people, our state wasn't doing enough to protect the people who weren't vaccinated, who still had to go out. So I felt like it was my way to protect myself. And plus, I was still dealing with symptoms from COVID. Still are. I'm still dealing with symptoms from COVID. Still can't taste, still can't smell. Been traveling different places. I wanted to get a little carry out. Can't get no carry out. I'm over here eating quesadillas, cheese, tomatoes, spinach. I don't even fucking like tomatoes like that. Anywho, I'm going off. But it's just like, if they don't care, I have to care. I did it to protect myself. Like it's been I don't want to say near death because there are people who actually died, but I really it did me dirty. I was down bad.
I don't fear death no more as much.
Okay.
I feel like
I was gonna say this early in the episode. I don't like pretending that we did something the weekend before, because what if I passed during that weekend and we put this episode out and it's like, yeah, you had fun on that trip. I didn't have fun. Would y'all still put the episode out?
Yeah, of course not. This show don't stop because you did. I'll find another co-host that look just like you.
What the fuck?
I mean, we'd take some time off. I'd have to do it by Zoom because I'm sure you would be grieving. But like a StreamYard would be up. This show, I'd now be the A mic here, Textually active, and we would be having these hard-hitting conversations.
But that's why I don't like doing it. But okay, so you know,
I wouldn't expect you to stop if I died. To be honest,
Rez wants the world to stop if she's not.
You know, like death is a big conversation that people don't like to have. Like fam, I never know what could happen when I walk outside of my house, but I also know I can prepare for these type of things. Like I've been trying to, like I talked to my dad about like death and stuff like that, and he always be like, I don't want to hear it because, you know, parents feel like they never want to have a chance to bury their kid, but it's like, no, bro, I want shit to seem like it never stopped if I was gone. I want people to remember me for the person that I was when I did. Now I don't really be afraid of shit no more like that. I just be like, is this, like, I be realizing, like, the higher power, because we're going to get that in a second, the higher power above me has taken me through a bunch of shit, and if he wanted me out of there, they would have got me out of here back then. Like, they would have got me out of here. But I didn't, so I'm still here. So I can't control what's about to happen next, so fuck it. Let's get to it. So if COVID would have got me out of here when I think I might have had it, if I had it, I still to this day do not know if I ever had COVID. And I've only gotten, like, maybe 1 or 2 COVID tests.
But you weren't even, I don't feel like you were outside as much during the pandemic.
I was. Yeah. I was essential.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I quit an essential job to be another essential worker.
Yeah, that was like, that was in the middle of it.
I was around people every day.
Yeah, like, he was the one who had the
No, but that's the thing. See, look, I'm brainwashed. You see how that just played into that? Because it's like you associate being outside with getting COVID. When I say outside, I mean like out at the bars or hanging out with friends or doing social functions. But you weren't outside. You weren't.
I was outside.
You were outside of your house, but you weren't outside.
No,
you know, like outside.
I was. First, like I've traveled.
We brought in 2020 with your birthday.
I've traveled all year. Like I went. We were at a party on my birthday. February, I was out. March, 2020. I went to the beach, and that's when I thought I had COVID.
Oh yeah.
Then I went back to work, and I worked all year. We were hanging out. I might have been the one that gave y'all COVID because we was hanging out. We did the quarantine party. We were quarantining this and that, and showing up and doing shit, going to restaurants because I'm tired of being in the house, trying to be social, this and outside. I don't even know if that really fucking worked because 6 feet ain't really that far.
Bruh, this shit is in the air, dog.
Like 6 feet ain't really that far. And you know me, I don't like wearing masks.
I got thrown off when someone brought up it was like when someone smokes, you can be farther than 6 feet and you can smell it. So why can't COVID travel as far?
If you can smell some shit through a mask, I ain't never really trusted.
I just don't want to eat at a restaurant where people are also, because that's my thing. Does COVID stop because we're eating? Like, can I not get COVID now because I'm putting food in my mouth?
Yeah, that's always my point. You're on base.
Okay. I guess okay. So
you think COVID been on all of that DoorDash bags and meals I've been seeing?
Hell yeah. I think that
God bless.
COVID was in there. COVID was in there. I think the problem is I want to get over this narrative that vaccinated people think that unvaccinated people are stupid. And that whole thing. I want to get rid of that. Because I don't feel like y'all stupid. Me and you both just sat up here and said we didn't get the vaccination because we got it for our own reasons.
I had to go outside.
I will say I was of the belief that they was pushing this shit too hard. And if they would have dropped vax that ass up when I wasn't vaccinated, I wouldn't be vaccinated. I'd be like, something ain't right now. Y'all ain't going to sit up here and have Juvenile and Manny Fresh tell me to vax that ass up to my favorite song and expect me to go do it. Like, it just feels like too much. But what I don't like is the misinformation that's being spread because it's dangerous.
You know that why I don't like?
What?
I don't like you motherfuckers having conversations for the sake of attention.
Like who?
Beyonce vaccinated?
She ain't never going to tell us.
The rest of you motherfuckers don't have to tell us either. mind your fucking business. The only reason I said it is because we're having a conversation here. But if I didn't want motherfuckers to know if I was vaccinated or not.
Yeah, you didn't answer my poll.
I wouldn't say that shit.
You didn't answer my poll.
Tap right through it. Watched all of it. Tap right through it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care, bro. And you know why? Because either I built some wild ass narrative about you, positively or negatively. And regardless of doing that, I'll just rather not deal with it. Like, I don't know. Like, these niggas is asking. Like, I be watching the news reporters, fucking sports reporters ask the athletes, are they vaccinated? That's none of your fucking business. Mind your fucking business. Do you not have any other questions to ask them other than this?
I think the thing with the sports people and people who are in media and stuff is that they're trying to influence other people to get vaccinated.
Bro, there's nothing in the world that LeBron James has ever done. And I was like, you know what? I need to go do that shit too. This nigga got liquor, and I like to drink. Still ain't been like, you know what? I need to go buy a bottle of that LeBron James liquor.
I think there's still power and influence, though.
Drake just told us last week he had COVID, and it caused his hairline to grow uneven. I don't know the math or the physics of that, but I let him rock.
Drake said what?
He had COVID, and it caused his hairline to grow in weird. So that's why when you look at the placement of the heart, he's been walking around emotional pictures.
That's
different. He said it caused him. It's none of my business, bro. That's none of my fucking business.
No, you see,
is there a hairline support group for COVID?
You can't pick and choose.
What?
You can't pick and choose what you're willing to do. Like who you. I mean, yes, you can decide who you're willing to be influenced for, but the same way you're saying, like LeBron, you know, what has he done to influence you to do something, and then someone tell you something that has no basis in fact that it might be true.
But what I'm saying is, you know why he told us that? Because somebody asked him. Like, nobody knows. Nobody would have cared. It's a lot of things that we could keep our personal lives private if we wanted to.
So the thing about COVID, though, is it would be one thing to keep it quiet, but it's hard because of the impact that it has on people. It's not like one of those, it's not like herpes or AIDS where I only contract, like I can't contract AIDS from you just by standing in the space breathing, but I can get COVID from standing in the space breathing. Okay. So like from that standpoint, like you don't really have to disclose to me if you have herpes or something that you can't get rid of unless we're in that intimate setting and we're having sex. But for COVID, I feel like you need to know.
But what I'm telling you is your vaccination status don't really affect me.
It does though. Because prior to now, where news is coming out that people who are vaccinated, probably people who got vaccinated 8 months ago, their vaccine is weakening, are catching COVID, and some people, in some cases, dying from it. Not as many as the people who are unvaccinated. But prior to, like, we were of the belief that vaccinated people were safe from catching COVID. So if I'm in a space with somebody who isn't vaccinated and they're mutating the virus in their body and it's developing into what we now know as a Delta virus, like, that's impacting me.
These niggas just lazy.
Who?
Motherfuckers is lazy. You said this. You said earlier. People are just lazy. And that's really what it is. If I needed to know everything I wanted to know about this vaccine, I probably wouldn't try to learn it on Twitter.
Well, that's the problem.
Probably wouldn't look at memes that a man made on Instagram and try to figure this out.
Well, that's the problem.
Yes, if I needed to know who Alexis Scott's fucking shade room would be perfect for that. But for a vaccine, I probably should go to people who pretty much know. Or maybe I should look up the word vaccine and see what the definition of the word vaccine is.
It means it's not a cure.
So if you smart enough and want to take the time to be in the know, you would. But these jackasses who just say shit and hope that it worked for them and it brings them peace inside to believe some bullshit, just think, hey, if I get vaccinated, I'm not going to catch COVID. I'll be all right.
We talk about groupthink a lot, and groupthink has really led us down this path that we're in now. Because there are still people who are out here loud and proud about not catching COVID. Bro. But how do you know you didn't catch COVID?
The only reason you don't know because you didn't get tested.
How do you know you didn't catch COVID? Like, that's the thing. It's like, I've been outside all summer and I ain't catch it. But how many people did you unknowingly kill or pass COVID to because you didn't have symptoms and you were outside? Like, that's the thing. So when I think about it from that viewpoint, I'm like, dang, I don't want to kill nobody. Valid. I don't want no deaths on my hands.
Hey, on the low, Married at First Sight was on in my house the other day.
Hold on. So I was trying to watch that. Is that like couples cam? Married at First Sight? I'm so confused. I can't watch it on demand.
It was on the demand at our house.
What was it called? Married at First Sight couples cam?
No, that's after the regular show comes out.
I'm so confused. I can't find it on demand anymore.
So I watched it the other day. And
I erased it.
And apparently, one of the couples, the husband had COVID. He caught COVID. They were on their honeymoon, and he found out they got tested. He had it, and she had to leave, and she felt like really fucking bad about it. And he was just like, "No, I think you should leave." And I was sitting there thinking, like, love matters this, like, things matter this much that you would rather put your health, like, in jeopardy. Like, because you don't know how COVID could affect you. You don't got it. Like, he might fucking take a gallon of orange juice to the head and be fine tomorrow. You might catch it from him and fucking be in the hospital for 9 months.
Right.
Like, I couldn't empathize with her for wanting to stay in the situation with him. Like, fam, you gotta look out. You gotta protect yourself in these situations. And I don't believe groupthink help you protect yourself, because this is some shit somebody said to you and you just believed it. Like, you didn't do no research, you didn't do nothing to believe kind of shit. It's weird.
It's just, it was different for us. But I do think that it is something that should be an open discussion about if you are vaccinated, if you aren't vaccinated. That way I know, like, how we should move.
Do you move differently with motherfuckers who are vaccinated? Listen to my question.
Mm-hmm.
If I am vaccinated and can still get COVID, will you move differently with me because of that?
Yes, because you're less likely to die compared to somebody who isn't vaccinated and who catches it. Like, you have a better chance of fighting it off because you're vaccinated.
So this is about, like,
safety.
Or, like, I don't want you to put the blame on me.
Yeah.
I got you.
I don't want the blood on my hands.
I got you.
I got you. When I was exposed to somebody at work who had it, I didn't want to expose other people. I was upset about it. And, you know, I was telling people that I was meeting up with, like, yo, this person, I'm just letting you know, boop, boop, boop.
I was around somebody.
If you feel like boop, 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 then maybe you should boop, boop, boop. And it was like, all right, well, still come on. And I'm like, I don't know, but okay. But it's just like, ugh, I don't like this. It's uncomfortable.
I feel like
I'm trying not to judge you. I'm having a hard time with this, but I understand why we're here with this conversation right here. Like, do you remember when COVID first dropped and people was like, oh, well, I don't want to hang out with you because I don't want to hang out with that person because I haven't been around, but you could come over afterwards. What? Like, how am I coming over afterwards? If they have COVID and I'm hanging out with them and I come hang out with you too, that means that you.
It's because you were on base.
I was safe.
I don't know. Words have meanings, and I think we need to start like using them correctly.
It's been really hard. COVID has been a tough conversation.
You know a phrase they ain't been using in COVID?
What?
That they use all the time in life to improve yourself. Risk taking. They'll use risk. Like,
you can't take risks with that.
Ain't nobody been saying you need to be out here taking risks.
I feel like we had this conversation before. It was like with COVID, like everything kind of turned into like, who are you willing to risk it for?
Yeah.
Right. And that really determined who your real friends and family were.
Yeah.
I don't know. I ain't really want to see y'all niggas anyway.
I still went to Thanksgiving.
Did I? I don't
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I still went to Christmas too. It was smaller. It was a small group, but I still saw my family. I mean,
I just wanted to like be able to know the people I gave COVID to.
Right. At least I can keep track. I can count them on one hand. Right. The other thing that is still a tough conversation is religion. You talked about it a little bit earlier.
I ain't want to offend nobody, so I just said higher power. Because somebody might be Muslim watching this. Mm-hmm. They might be in Philly, you know. Assalamu alaikum, my nigga. But, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where you got to give me credit. That was fire. I threw that in there. I'm cultured. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you never know what somebody believe in. And you might be offending them by accident. Like, I hate when black women. It's always like old black ladies, older black people that ask you what church you go to. Like, it make a difference. Like, you going to like me more or not. Like, the churches be beefing, and if I say the wrong church, you going to run down on me.
Nobody ever asked me that. They must think I'm a heathen. They probably look at me and be like, that bitch don't go to church. I ain't going to ask.
Where's the lie here?
Oh, my gosh. I am not a heathen.
What are you?
What am I? A vibe.
I like it. Yeah,
that's tough because I feel like there's a lot of judgment behind that question too. Yeah. What church you go to?
I think I don't know, bro. I just feel like I don't know. I be around black people. So black people, we like to gatekeep shit. We was talking about that on last week. Like black people, we like to gatekeep.
So it was interesting how religion kind of like overlapped into like my dating life once upon a time. Right, like this was, BT when I was dating around and stuff like that.
That was funny.
Basically, I identify as an agnostic. Right, so I believe there is a higher power. I just don't know.
That's not what agnostic means.
That's exactly what agnostic means.
No,
atheist is what you're thinking about.
No, I'm about to tell you. Go ahead, continue the story.
So, okay. So, like I was saying, basically,
a person who believes that nothing is known or can be known of existence or nature of God or of anything beyond material phenomenon.
So
a person who claims neither faith nor disbelief in God. So you don't believe in God?
So I believe there's a higher power. I just don't know who they are.
Okay.
Agnostic.
No.
Okay.
Because you believe.
I said I believe in a higher power. Yeah.
Right. So you believe. So that's not agnostic.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is.
I have 2 points to make here.
Go ahead.
Number one, this is what happens when you try to have religion conversations with people.
Yep.
And two, I was fucking shocked. Rez knew how to spell agnostic on the first try.
No, me and Jasmine were just looking this up. We were talking about
she
it.
Knew how to spell it. I was fucking shocked.
I'm sorry, but go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted your story.
So, long story.
And for the record, I do know what his belief standards are.
Now,
No, I do.
Did y'all have? Is this like a relationship conversation?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Finish.
So basically,
Yeah. So like I was. I'm sorry, Stan. Go ahead.
How you get out of relationship.
Religion conversation. Just joke it up. So basically, you told sis she was agnostic.
right? And basically, she told me that she couldn't date me because I needed to be sure in my faith. But her ex-boyfriend was Muslim, so she was just like, "That was okay," even though technically, what they believe in is not necessarily competing against each other, but one kind of like they don't really necessarily mesh well. So I just found like how people kind of pick and choose in those situations.
I mean, I kind of understand her point. She like wanted to know if you was gonna be real about this. She wanted to know if you could be sure in this relationship. Like the Muslim nigga knew for sure. Like I practice Muslim. Like he for sure in what he believe in. So she just wanted to make sure that you would be if you was about games or not. I can't see her point.
That's fair.
Pussy is probably trash though. Anybody going that hard for somebody like that, like doing that in the early stages, you don't fuck that much.
Yeah.
You don't fuck. You fuck. It's hard. You're a hard fuck, and it's probably not that good.
I just think it's a tough conversation because everybody didn't have the same upbringing, and it.
Hey, to be honest, I don't never lead with that question. Like in relationships, like I ain't never really dated a girl that went to church every day.
I've heard people,
every Sunday or whatever.
People on dating sites are putting it on their bios. That's how me and Jasmine were talking about it, because she said she was on her dating profile and people were putting agnostic in there, like as their religion. I guess it's an option now.
That's when you looked it up.
Yeah, and that's when we looked it up.
All right.
But no, she looked it up. I didn't look it up. But I just think it's a tough conversation. It leads to more complicated conversations, but it's a good conversation to have when you are at that space, but not in the entry level of trying to decide if you want to be somebody's friend or not.
I don't think you should choose it.
What? Oh, he just
he looked it up
and passed it to me. Do agnostics believe in a higher power? Belief in a higher power was found in every segment of religiously unaffiliated population. Overall, 70% of the nuns said they believe in spiritual force. Among agnostics, it was 62%. Even among atheists, and nearly 1 in 5, or 18%, said they believe in a higher power.
So I get it.
I just don't know who
being agnostic just means you like chicken wings. It don't mean you prefer hot over lemon pepper or you only eat lemon pepper. It just means if there's chicken there, I believe I'll eat it. Like, I understand. It makes sense to me. Like, I believe it.
I'm just going off of the definition that I see here, and it says a person who claims neither faith nor disbelief in God. They don't claim either. They're on the fence. They riding that shit.
I mean, I'm that too because, wow. I believe in that. Like, it makes sense to me because I dabble in the Bible every once in a while. Some of that shit don't make sense.
Mm-hmm. It's a little dated.
It's a not just dated. It just
nah, that shit dated because we was reading it the other day.
I don't think it's dated. I just think it's like it's up for your interpretation.
And that's the part.
And that's the
part. Some people, and they do this in law too. Some people really take the law as word. The law is a little dated too. Sometimes law is a little dated. Yeah. And you have to interpret it. And that's the part. The interpretation. It's up for interpretation.
Like, I feel like there were a lot of niggas in the Bible that had multiple wives. But you ever notice, like, they always talk like, you shouldn't do this to your wife. Like, it didn't say, I mean, you could have, maybe I'm quoting this wrong, maybe not. But I do remember there were niggas in there with multiple wives. Like, there were, like, niggas did bad shit in the Bible all the time. Like, Jesus, when he was born, he had nowhere to stay. Like, they had to stay in a barn or some shit like that. Like, I'm pretty sure those people, where is hell in the scenario of that? Because they went to hell for that. I'm pretty sure. You didn't want to give the Lord and Savior of our existence a place to stay.
So, believe it or not, this is going to probably feed into Rez's point. So, if I remember the story correctly, the inn was full, and the only place that was available was the actual stable, and they were saying that they would take it.
Right.
So it wasn't that. I mean, I guess someone didn't give up, their seat for the pregnant lady on the train, but still.
I think
You never talk about Joseph's like reaction to when she said I'm pregnant and it's from God. Like,
yeah,
that don't even sound like a story that would be real. Like,
not today.
Like, and then it's like all through the Bible is people who didn't believe in God. Like, it's okay. Like, it's a proof that it's right there. It happens. I don't know why they try to take it. Yeah, it's just weird to me.
I just, I've seen some things and heard some things about people's views on religion, and I just think it's best for me to make my decision on what I want to do if I'm called to be in a religion, and that's okay. But I also don't want to be judged by people for not just going with the flow and just picking whatever. Like, I need hard facts.
Yeah, I like bacon too much. So Muslim not for me. I know that already. Like,
yeah,
I like bacon, pork chops,
pork on my fork. That's another thing I can eat. I can eat pork.
I also don't like that.
What?
I don't like the whole dietary stop. Like, why is niggas like the last couple of years niggas really been pushing this vegan shit? Like, I am not a bad person because I like steak. I don't give a fuck. Living creatures die all the time. If you killed that bug the other day in your house because you was afraid of it, you killed something. You just didn't eat it.
You know what I can't get behind and what I will judge you for? Drinking cow milk. It's disgusting.
Fuck that. I grew up on. I love me a little whole milk. And who are these people that are fucking drinking milk regularly like this? Like, what kind of fucking?
Ew.
Like, who the fuck is just waking up? Let me get a glass of milk.
How do you think they decided to suck cow nipple? Like, how do you think they figured out that nipple was?
Please don't.
He was a freak John.
Don't take it.
Like that. Who was the first? Who said?
Freak John.
Who said those titties got milk in it? What about these titties? And went over there and started.
I'm pretty sure it was the cow had a child and they watched and then they said, "Let me see." Who was the first nigga to be like, "We finna eat these bottom dwellers on the bottom of this fucking lake," and then was like, "Oh no, shrimp good for us."
They was fishing.
See what I'm saying?
They was fishing.
But
they wasn't sucking the milk for the baby.
You do what you gotta do sometimes when in poverty. Nigga, chitlins is a big thing. You know why? Because they was giving black people scraps. Scrapple. It's just all the scraps. I'm pretty sure black people
never had chitlins.
Like, it's a bunch of... Who the fuck was like, hey, you know what part of the pig is really good?
Well, maybe they didn't know what that part was used for.
And so they just was trying shit. You try shit.
No, it's literally because that was all that was.
I know, but maybe they just didn't know, like, this part. But never mind.
They just try. You gotta try shit.
But if they did know, and don't say that like that, you gotta try shit.
You gotta try shit. You gotta try shit. I'm still thinking about my Jeff Bezos answer.
What? Oh.
I'm still not over the fence with that.
Well, let's give you a little bit more time and take a break, and we'll come back with our final thoughts. All right, so we're back with our final thoughts, and to wrap it up, I guess we can kind of maybe reflect on a tough conversation that we had and these kind of like the things that we talked about within the things that we talked about today, and take it from there.
We didn't talk about it today, but trauma is a very hard conversation to have with people because, like, you now have to, when you put this shit on the table, you now have to take in, accept, or get rid of somebody else's thinking. You gotta like do both of these. Like, you gotta either accept it or, you know, reject it. And I think like I don't really have too many hard conversations, but like me and my dad living together, like it gave me like, I used to always think like, damn, like if I spent more time with my dad, I would be a better person. But then like the conversations we would have, and I realized like, bro, he did the best he could with what his situation is. So it's like, when you like start to have these conversations with people and you start thinking them out, it's like it changed perspective. Like I also didn't reach out. Like also like it's not me a victim. It's like I also didn't reach out enough, or like I'm sure he would have made an effort had I reached out a lot. I also learned, like, I don't really know the circumstances of all of this. So placing anger at somebody when you don't really know the whole story, because for some reason, us as black, us as kids, adults try to protect us from things that ain't kids' business. It's adult business. It's grown folks' business. You don't need to know. And they don't realize that's fucking us up way more than anything. So had I known what was going on in around 10, 11, 12, maybe I would have dealt with it differently and I would have dealt with it correctly. So trauma, you got to start talking to each other about these fucking traumas. If somebody did some shit to you and you didn't like, talk to them.
Yeah, that is tough. Having those tough conversations because you're vulnerable in that moment, and it's up. You don't know if that person is going to be defensive, if they're going to be accepting, or what.
Or
so,
give
yeah.
a fuck.
Yeah, or care.
Or I mean, but on the other side too is like they may not think you can comprehend what's going on.
Yeah, but I would much rather at least somebody tell me.
Yeah.
Than me find out as 30. Like, I was watching some show the other day. This Flatbush Ministry, her uncle took care of her because her dad went to jail. But she's 16 now, and she found out the reason her dad went to jail was something her uncle did. So she been living with the uncle, who's the reason that her family is apart. Like, at 16, that could fucking traumatize her for the rest of her life when you find out some shit like that. And it's like, I would rather have known this earlier so I wouldn't have... It's not a surprise to me when we find out. Like all the fucking Tyler Perry movies. When something... Fucking Bow Wow thought his sister... Like, he thought his mom was his sister his entire life. Like, when you fucking 30 and find out some shit like that, it's like, bro, what else have y'all been lying to me about? Like, fuck you niggas. Like,
yeah.
I might be more traumatized now than I've ever been in my life.
I definitely know a few people whose parents... divorced later while their child was older, and it hurt them a lot more than, I mean, basically people when it happened when they were younger.
Yeah, like I could have probably got over that by now.
Yeah.
So for me, one of the most tough conversations I've ever had to have is about finances. I feel like that is usually a conversation, especially when you have a significant other. Like, it's just hard to have, right? Even no matter in what stage it is, right? So I always kind of felt like, me personally, it's just one of those things, like, you don't want to be counting somebody else's pockets, right? You don't want to ever, because then it turns into what's fair, and then that conversation can turn into like, oh, as a man, you should pay the rent versus this or versus that. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that it gets down into it, and it's kind of like when you, I guess. For me in particular, I kind of like look at it as like, and like you've been good so far, so it's like you try not to like ruffle the feathers.
Yeah,
The finance is a hard one, bro.
Yeah,
because finances like basically equate to like life in general.
Yeah, your lifestyle.
Yeah, like how you want to do shit, how you want all this shit.
And in the beginning, it exposes you, right? Because you think about it, it's like when you finally talk about finances, it's kind of like it's direct correlation to how responsible you were.
Right.
And it's just like you are now exposing yourself to be criticized or to be looked down on.
It shows like what your life was really like. Like, imagine that I lived a life that I could support. Like, the shit that makes me laugh is like when, like, it's usually women that say this, but it's not, men say it too. Like, I can support my own lifestyle. I don't need you. Like that, then that becomes like a conversation that spirals, and it's just like, what are you here for? It's like, it's just weird.
Yeah, I think any conversation in a relationship is tough that's outside of the, hey, what you want for dinner? It's like,
no, that's a tough one.
It's challenging, but there are conversations that get a little tougher than that. And it's just like having those vulnerable moments and opening up about, why do you act the way you act? Because I do kind of conversations. Those be the ones that be like,
why you act like that? Like what?
Like what? Yeah. Explaining why you are the way you are or why you react the way you act.
Time and place matter too.
Yeah.
I try my best to have like those conversations, those tough conversations in random times. Because if you just come to me and want to have a conversation, I'm not gonna be very receptive.
No, I don't like that. Now I feel targeted.
Yeah, like
I'm in a corner. I don't like that. Don't corner me in
But
asking
like,
questions.
if I see, like lately, we've been watching TV, and if I see something on TV in storyline, and I feel like I can relate, I go, triggered, and then we can have those conversations on my time right then and there.
That's right. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did it to me the other day. You was like, "Oh, when did you used to smoke cigarettes?" And you were trying to ask me about that.
Yeah, when you were ripping Newports.
Yeah, I was tearing them Newports up. They was 100s too.
In a box.
In a great time. Yeah, I used to.
You are a nigga.
You have no reason to. It's like, why?
I don't even know how we came up with that, but yeah.
I don't even know what that do. What does that do?
It taps it back so towards the filter so that it's not all packed up at the top and you can get a clean light.
That's nasty. I had no clue. I just thought.
You just thought niggas was tapping it?
I just thought it was for them to look cool.
No.
Right, I just thought that was the same thing.
You
like
literally
when you
tap
had,
it so that
when you had the Skittles and you were just like, you know what I'm saying?
What does that do?
I just thought it was the same thing.
I always wanted to know, why did niggas shake the airhead down? What are you busting the airhead down? All right, okay.
It's the sound.
Niggas do a lot of.
Speaking of sounds, what we got added to the playlist this week?
You didn't even do yours.
I did. I said having any.
Oh, just all of them.
Yeah.
All of the
Any conversation with your SO outside of what you want to eat is challenging.
That's
cheating. I don't like that.
It
I don't
is.
like that answer.
I just want to let you know you got to communicate, and it's hard. I don't like it.
Hate it out here. You are now tuned in. You're now tuned in to WMEZ. This week on the Song of the Week, we got Cyanca. This is Dirty Dancing here on WMEZ.
Textually active.
All right. So for the memes of the week, everybody pull your memes out. I need a moment. Oh, Eric, you got one?
Yeah. I found this on Meezy's story, and it just spoke to me. Apple Music don't even check if you still got a job or nothing.
Them niggas.
And just replace Apple Music with any subscription service.
Anything, bro. Niggas. I forgot I was paying for school off my account. It was on auto pay. Hey, niggas hurt when I seen that come out. That little $100, I need that.
Yo, Meezy, I had something from the business come out of the account, and I purposely made sure I turned it off a week in advance, and it didn't do it. And then I was, it was that moment of panic where you're just like, yo, I'm hoping they'll give me my money back.
Oh my
I did
God.
get it though, so that worked.
That should be rough.
Easy, what you got?
Since I've been doing all of these new things, I saw this and it related to me. I'm at the age where checking Gmail is part of my social media routine. Like, I'm opening my emails more now and looking. Harris Teeter sent out them evict deals in the email, so you got to know it's on sale this week when you go to the grocery store.
Same. I feel like you just get alerted with so much stuff in your email.
Do you remember the show we were talking about Social Network and stuff like that? And I remember the guy said that he was addicted to checking his email, and I thought it was so dumb when he first said that. But now I'm just like, yo, like
I won't turn my phone off. Do not disturb, but I check my apps pretty more. I think putting my phone on do not disturb causes me to check my phone more often.
Yeah, me too. Because you don't get the notification.
So
but
you
I
just
feel
checking.
so angered by my phone, like
The buzzing, the shit sliding down.
Don't
I hate all of
doesn't
that
that
shit.
bother you? Like, especially when you have on like your Apple Watch and it just vibrates out of nowhere. Like,
hate all
because
that
now
shit.
I feel like I really have to check my phone.
Exactly.
So I would rather have the
Like, do
control
it in
to
peace.
check it.
Yeah.
But then I'll miss calls from people and play phone tag.
Job called me this morning. Didn't hear it. It didn't ring. I called him back at noon. He was like, "Don't worry about it now."
I sure won't.
Thank you.
My meme is bring back full coverage. And when I say full coverage, I mean full coverage shirts, full coverage panties, and full coverage mask. Pull that mask up over your nose.
I heard man lame.
No, I'm not.
I'm trying to see a little nip.
You trying to see what?
Show that little midriff, girl. Show that midriff.
Bring back full coverage.
I mean, I'm all a fan for them pack panties though. Them shit's fire.
The pack panties be going up. Pack panty. I love a good pack panty. Victoria's Secrets. I got tired of my ass cheeks eating them little panties up.
Target, get your little Hanes pack. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Eating my front lips up. I didn't like that. Every time I got a coochie wedgie.
Do you have back lips?
My butt.
Okay, never mind. Aren't they both front lips?
No. What would be front lips? This lip? That lip? Yeah, but I was... No.
I'm just...
Anywho, thank you all for listening to another episode. For another episode of Textually Active.
I figured it out.
What?
Tough conversation that we didn't have today.
Yeah.
Was sexualities.
100
million's mine.
Okay.
I'm getting that 100 million. That's mine.
We'll be back next week.
That's mine.
Thank you for listening to the Textually Active podcast. This podcast is a full-service production from the Open Media Lab. Be sure to check in every Textual Tuesday along with following them on all social media at Textually Active Pod. Textually Active is a part of the Open Media Network.